بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد. Okay, alhamdulillah, so we are back for a new week 6 in our program, alhamdulillah. Last week we concluded our level 1 of general exposure to Arabic language, alhamdulillah. For those of you who still have some lectures to catch up on, inshallah, please do so. But now, moving forward, we're going to be taking on one text on tazkiyah and adab, inshallah, and then we'll have a session on Arabic right afterwards, and then we'll conclude with a Arabic listening session where we're going to be watching something together, and inshallah we'll take our benefits from that, inshallah. Tayyib. So 3 components to each of our lessons, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. There will be 3 sessions. So bi'idhnillah ta'ala, the first text that we are going to be studying in our tazkiyah section, if you notice in the DAI program is divided into 4 sections, right? The first 2 are for Arabic, the third one is for Islamic studies, and the last one is for general purification of the heart, the tazkiyah, the etiquettes, and the rest. So this is essentially the first text in our readings, inshallah. This is titled Khulasah Tajdeed al-Ilmi, written by the great scholar of Medina, alive, Sheikh Salih bin Abdullah bin Hamad al-Usaymi, Hafidhahullahu ta'ala. I briefly mentioned in the introduction last week to this text that Allah Azza wa Jal has given this Sheikh and this book an enormous, extreme qubul in the world, such that every year when the Sheikh he invites the students of knowledge from around the world to attend his dawrah, hundreds and thousands of students, like thousands of students, if not hundreds of thousands, subhanAllah, they attend, they flock to his halaqat. And this book, the reason why it has had such qubul, of course, firstly because the Shaykh has such ikhlas, and ikhlas is apparent in his durus, his mannerisms, his etiquettes. Inshallah, we'll be taking on some of his durus in our listening activities, inshallah, at some point in the near future. But the Shaykh, subhanallah, is someone who is exemplary, in not just in his knowledge and his knowledge of the Arabic language and his usul and fiqh, but his mannerisms. SubhanAllah, the way he presents himself, the way he carries himself, he's really an image of the ulama of the old, right? SubhanAllah. May Allah preserve the Shaykh, and may Allah allow us all to benefit from his works. So this is the first text that we're going to be covering, titled Khulasah, i.e. a summary, Tajdeed al-Ilm. The actual book of his, the longer version, is called Tajdeed al-Ilm, the exaltation or veneration of knowledge. And this is a khulasa, i.e. a summary. تمام? So this book is يسمى هذا الكتاب خلاصة تعظيم العلم. It is called خلاصة. يسمى هذا الكتاب, this book is called يسمى خلاصة تعظيم العلم. Okay, this word يسمى is used quite a lot, so I'm just explaining it. For example, أنا أسمى حارث مثلا. I'm called Harith, my name is Harith, and this book is called يسمى خلاصة تعظيم العلم. طبعا the name of the author is Salih al-Usaymi in short. If you want to go for the full name, it's Salih ibn Abdullah ibn Hamad al-Usaymi, غفر الله له ولوالديه ولمشايخه وللمسلمين جميعا. Allahumma ameen. Whenever we read the books of authors, we always make dua for them, because they are the ones, if they had not written this book, we will not have benefited, right? So they have a favor upon us. They have done a favor upon us by giving us this knowledge. So we always make dua for our mashayikh, even for the authors that we read, right? From of course the Muslim authors, right? So may Allah Azza wa Jal preserve the Shaykh. Allah Azza wa Jal give him good health. He's old. He's getting old now. So may Allah Azza wa Jal, preserve him. Hafidhullah. Let's jump into his text. In his muqaddimah, in his introduction, يقول بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. And this is the way of the ulama. They always begin with the name of Allah Azza wa Jal. And there's a weak hadith. The ulama, they say the meaning of it is sound though, because in action the Prophet ﷺ himself used to begin things with Bismillah. The hadith says that every matter that does not begin with the name of Allah is aqta', it will not profit. It will not be of any use. Right? It will not have that barakah. Okay? So, كل أمر ذي بال لم يبدأ ببسملة فهو أقطع. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, every matter of importance, of having some importance, whatever someone does with intention, if it has not started with the name of Allah Azza wa Jal, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, the first ayah of the Quran, for example, or just Bismillah, then it is high chance that that work will not receive the barakah. Okay, so always nabda'u bismillahi ta'ala. We begin nabda' bismillahi ta'ala. And this is in iqtida of the ulama, in following in the footsteps of the ulama, that the Shaykh starts his book with Bismillah. Tamam. He says, Alhamdulillah, all praise to Allah Azza wa Jal. Manillah, who is Allah? Al-Mu'azzami bit-Tawheed, the one who has been exalted with Tawheed, i.e. he is exalted. Why is he exalted? Why is he above everything else? Why is he the greatest of all? It's because of his Tawheed. The fact that he is the only king, the master, the supervisor, the creator, the king of the entire creation. Right? It is he who orders and it is he who forbids. Right? This is the Tawheed, the one who has the most perfect and the most complete attributes, characteristics. Subhanallah. Right? So this is Allah Azza wa Jal. So he's al-Mu'azzam bit-Tawheed. Right? So those who do shirk with Allah Azza wa Jal, they actually do ihana. They ridicule Allah Azza wa Jal with their shirk and with their kufr. Right? So Allah Azza wa Jal is exalted. He is glorified with his Tawheed. So Alhamdulillahil Mu'azzami bit Tawheed. And the Shaykh has mentioned this in the Sighatul Ism. He's mentioned this as a noun. Right? Like he didn't say we glorify him with Tawheed. He says Al-Mu'azzam, to show that he's always that. Even if some of the ibad, some of the slaves, they fall short, essentially, in doing his ta'zeem kama haqquhu, as it deserves to be done. Right? So Alhamdulillah al-Mu'azzami bit-Tawheed. Inshallah. Wa sallallahu wa sallama ala abdihi wa rasulihi Muhammadin al-makhsusi bi ajal al-mazid. Wa sallallahu, and the salutations of Allah and his peace be upon ala abdihi, his slave. And the word slave, when it is used in this way, his slave, the attribution of the word slave is being done towards Allah, i.e. Allah's slave. This in itself is a praise for this abd, right? Because this abd, when Allah Azza wa Jal, in writing or in communication, when you ascribe something towards something, say book of Zayd, the book takes its meaning from, its importance from that thing that it is being attributed to. For example, if I say Kitabu Zayd, book of Zayd, and Zayd is someone no one knows, then the book is not going to have any importance. But if I say Hada Kitabu Malik Britania مثلا, right? This is the book of the King of England or King of Britain. Now all of a sudden the book has a value, right? You think, oh, this belongs to the King of Britain, so this is precious. Likewise, Abdihi, right? This is a praise for the Prophet. When normally when you call someone you're a slave, right? That is seen as a ridicule, that is seen as an abuse, right? But when it's used in reference to Allah Azza wa Jal, kulluna abid, we all of us are slaves. Kulluna abid, we are slaves of Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So the slavery that we do of Allah, i.e. the obedience that we do of Allah Azza wa Jal, the servitude that we portray towards Allah Azza wa Jal, that is us. That is our real identity, right? That is who we are, right? And amongst us are ranks. The Prophet ﷺ is the highest. So, sallallahu wa sallama ala abdihi. Okay? And so this is one of the highest honors that Allah Azza wa Jal gives to his slaves. And Muhammad ﷺ is the most virtuous, right? And the most lofty of the slaves of Allah Azza wa Jal amongst all the creation. All of the creation, right? All of the creation. So this is ala abdihi is the Shaykh. The reason why I'm mentioning all of this detail is because the Shaykh has all of this in his subconscious mind before he writes this. So every single thing that the ulama of the Sunnah, when they write, there is a hikmah behind it, and I'm trying to extrapolate the hikmah for you, inshallah. Okay. وَرَسُولِهِ مُحَمَّدٍ, and his messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, al-makhsusi bi-ajall al-mazid. Al-makhsus, the one who has been specified, or has been made khas, who is has been specially given this ajall al-mazid. Okay. So the peace and salutations of Allah Azza wa Jal upon his slave and his messenger Muhammad. Who is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He is al-makhsus. He is the one who has been specified with what? Bi-ajall al-mazid. Al-mazid is anything that is extra, everything that is za'id. So everything that anyone else got, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam got it from Allah Azza wa Jal as a favor. Right? He got nubuwah, that is the highest favor that is given to a human being. Then he got messengerhood. He was made a Rasul, that is higher than the messengerhood, than being just a Nabi, right? And being a Rasul in the world, that is the highest status that anyone can get, right? In the class of prophets and messengers. طيب. And then Allah Azza wa Jal gave him Al-Kawthar, okay? The abundance of all things, right? Inna a'tainaka Al-Kawthar. Indeed, we have granted you Al-Kawthar. So this Al-Kawthar is the highest and the most loftiest of all extra things that can be given. If Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been granted the highest stature anyone can ever imagine, and others from the highest of the highest class of men that have ever walked the earth, if he's already been granted that, and he was the king of all kings on this planet, subhanallah, then what could else he be given, right? If that is something that some other messengers like Sulaiman was given, right? This is Al-Kawthar, right? So this is Al-Mazid, okay? This is what no one else was given. He is Al-Makhsus with it. He is the one who specified with this Al-Mazid, okay? The Shifa'a, for example, his specific, special intercession, which no one else will be allowed. All the other messengers will flee themselves. They will free themselves of, they will flee from their people, and they will free themselves of this kind of burden, because they'll be afraid for themselves. Ibrahim, Khalilullah, he'll be afraid for himself because he said a white lie to save his wife and himself in front of the king who wanted to kill them. So even Khalilullah is scared. So people will go to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam will throw himself into sajda, and he will say words Allah will teach him on that day. Those words were not taught to him in this world, in this dunya. These are words that Allah will specifically teach him on that day in his sajda, and Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam will make the dua with those words. And so these are many examples. So having this special virtue of doing the shafa'ah for the for the believers on the Day of Judgment, right? Having Al-Kawthar, right? Being the Sayyidul Anbiya, right? Subhanallah. All of these are the mazid. These are the loftiest of the things that could ever be given on top of the highest rank, that is messengerhood. Okay, so he's al-makhsus with it. وَعَلَى آلِهِ وَصَحْبِهِ أُولِي الْفَضْلِ وَالرَّأْيِ السَّدِيدِ. And upon his family, وَصَحْبِهِ, and his companions, أُولِي الْفَضْلِ, the ones of virtue, the people of virtue, and the people of high status, the people of fadl, the people who have let's say, so fadl is essentially translated in English as virtue, but fadl is also something that is done towards others, right? So they are they have done fadl, and they are sahibul fadl as well. They are the men of virtue, and they're also the ones who have bestowed virtue upon those who came after them by passing them knowledge with truth and honesty. وَالرَّأْيِ السَّدِيدِ, and strong and firm and unwavering opinion and statement. So upon his family and his companions, the men of virtue, men and women of virtue, and the men of unwavering, strong and correct and steadfast statements, opinions. Okay? Because the opinions of the Sahaba, they're used as a litmus test for the understanding of the Quran and Sunnah, right? So they are the ones with the correct and the steadfast, the strong, right? The truthful statement and opinion and things. Not that their qawl is always hujjah, but when they are a jama'ah, it becomes ijma', it becomes consensus, and it's a hujjah in the deen of Allah. It's one of the hujjaj shari'iyya. There is evidence. It's used as an evidence in the Sharia. Okay, after the Quran and Sunnah. So ijma' is an evidence in the Quran, in the Sharia. Tamam. So subhanallah, we have this is just the first paragraph. Look how much hikmah we have just unpacked from this first 2.5 lines. Allahu Akbar. We want to conclude this, inshallah. I'll just read a couple more lines, perhaps until here. Let's finish this page quickly, so that at least we have done the muqaddimah properly, and then we'll tomorrow inshallah we'll read ahead. Tamam? Just so that we keep in the time bounds, inshallah ta'ala. Amma ba'd. So amma ba'd is used for initially. After having said the kalimat of praise and salam and salah on the Prophet, you say amma ba'd. As for what precedes, amma ba'du, ay amma ba'd hadha. As for what is after this, amma ba'du. I'm saying this because inshallah you're going to come across this often, right? So amma ba'd or ba'd. Although according to Fusha, it should be used as amma ba'd, but some ulama they say ba'd as well. فهذه and this is what is these kalimat. This what I'm writing, this work of mine is min kitabi ta'zim al-ilm, is from my book called ta'zim al-ilm. What is it? Khulasatul lafz. Okay, فهذه, these awraq, these pages I'm writing, they are khulasatul lafz. They are a summary of the words that I've written in there. Alright? أعدت بالتقاطها لمقصد الحفظ. It has been prepared. أعدت. This khulasa, أعدت, has been prepared بالتقاطها, by choosing passages from the book, of course, لمقصد الحفظ, for the purpose of memorization of the benefits that I've mentioned in that book. Okay? التقاط is to choose, right? فاستخرج منه للمنفعة المذكورة اللباب. So al-lubab, i.e. the gist, the crux, the cream, the fruit of the book, فاستخرج منه. This has been taken out of it. So al-lubab فاستخرج منه. Al-lubab استخرج. The lubab, the gist, has been taken out from this book للمنفعة المذكورة, for the mentioned benefit. منفعة, benefit, المذكورة, mentioned. تمام؟ فاستخرج منه للمنفعة المذكورة اللباب. Okay? So استخرج منه, you can break this down. I'm breaking this down just so that the words are clear for you, inshallah. استخرج منه اللباب, the gist has been taken from this, the book, for the benefit aforementioned, right? The benefit I've mentioned, i.e. that you get the khulasa of the lafz and you memorize the important benefits, passages from it. Okay? وَجُعِلَ فِيهِ الْأَنْمُوذَجِ مِنْ كُلِّ بَابٍ. Anmudhaj means samples. Ju'ila fihi have been put inside of, so ju'ila can be used for made or start as well sometimes, but here it means to put. It takes on the meaning of according to the context, right? So samples have been put inside it, min kulli bab, from all chapters of knowledge. So different topics that we discuss in the science of seeking knowledge. There have been samples from the life of the Sahaba, examples have been put inside this. لِيَكُونَ فِي نُفُوسِ الطَّلَبَةِ لِيَكُونَ, so that it is, so that it is or it becomes, في نفوس الطلبة, في in nufus, the souls, the beings of the talaba, the students, shams al-nahar, it becomes the daylight, the daylight sun, right? It becomes the radiant sun, like the midday sun. Subhanallah. These examples given in addition to the main points, the main the takeaways, so that they become in the souls of the talaba like the bright radiant sun of the day. Okay? And as soon as they have learnt it, يَتَرَشَّحُوا بَعْدَهُ يَتَرَشَّحُوا, they run بَعْدَهُ, after having this fire ignited inside them, إِلَى الْعَمَلِ, towards action, وَالْإِدِّكَارِ, and remembrance of Allah. Okay? So action and remembrance. Action and preservation of knowledge. So iddikar is from idtikar, from dhikr. Okay, you'll learn this later in sarf, that dhal and ta, they can be combined together, and then dhal is often changed into dal when it appears in the sigha of ifti'al. Okay, al-amali wal-iddikar. Tamam, inshallah. This is the gist of why he's written the book. So he's done the khulasa, he's taken the main gists out of his book, he's mentioned them in brief passages so that it's easy for you to memorize. This is the lubab of the work, this work. This is the gist of this work. Okay, Ta'dheem al-ilm, for this benefit that you can memorize and act upon these benefits. And what something else the Shaykh has done is جُعِلَ فِيهِ or جَعَلَ فِيهِ الْأَنْمُوذَجِ. He has put inside this anmudaj, samples. Okay, min kulli bab, from all abwab, from all the chapters of ilm, seeking knowledge. Okay, لِيَكُونَ فِي نُفُوسِ الطَّلَبَةِ, so that this hifz and these this hifz with the understanding, it becomes a radiant sun, right? Like a radiant sun in the like the sun of the the shining sun of the midday, subhanallah, in the souls of the talaba. So it becomes a radiant light. It becomes a guiding light for the talaba. Okay, وَيَتَرَشَّحُ بَعْدَهُ, and they leap forward after this ignition in their hearts and their beings towards action and itikar. فَأَسْأَلُ اللَّهَ لِي وَلَهُمْ لُزُومَ مَعَاقِدِ التَّعْظِيمِ. فَأَسْأَلُ اللَّهَ, so I ask Allah Azza wa Jal, li walahum, for myself and for them. Who is he talking about here? The students of knowledge, of course, right? The students of knowledge. Li walahum. So I ask Allah Azza wa Jal for myself first and foremost. Of course, look at this. This is the tawadu'. This is the humility of the ulama, right? They are humble beings, right? So this is the هذا درب العلماء. This is the path of ulama. This is how they carry themselves. فأسأل الله لي. Okay, I ask Allah for me first and foremost. وَلَهُمْ, and for them. What? لُزُومَ. Shaykh, فأسأل الله لي وَلَهُمْ. He says, I ask Allah for myself first and then them. لُزُومَ, holding steadfast of ma'aqid, foundations of at-ta'zim. Ma'aqid is the plural of ma'qid, or ma'qid, right? And ma'qid is from aqd, right? The same word that we use for aqidah, without going into too much detail, aqd is a firm knot, okay? So ma'qid is the place where you tie the knot, right? So it's essentially the foundation, okay? Or the peg. So Allah Azza wa Jal, I ask Allah Azza wa Jal for myself and for them, the students of knowledge, who are sincere, mukhlisin, luzuma ma'aqid ta'zim, the holding fast of the foundations of veneration, exaltation of what? Ilm, of course, right? Ma'aqid ta'zim, the foundations of veneration of knowledge. So Allah Azza wa Jal he's asking Allah Azza wa Jal to give us steadfastness in the holding strong upon of being steadfast upon or being strongly sort of foundationed, in the pillars, the foundations of ta'zeem al-ilm, the foundation, the veneration of knowledge. Okay, so essentially he's asking Allah Azza wa Jal to give us steadfastness in the path of knowledge. Essentially, everything that makes seeking knowledge possible for us, O Allah, allow us to cling on to it with strength. Okay, ma'aqid is the plural of ma'qid. Okay, and it is the place where you tie the aqd, you tie the knot. So it's a foundation, essentially. It's a peg that you. Okay, inshallah. So the foundations of knowledge, Allah Azza wa Jal allows us to hold fast onto them. وَالْفَوْزَ, and success, بِجَوَامِعِ فَضْلِهِ الْعَظِيمِ, with the most and he's asking Allah for the second thing. So the first thing is that Allah Azza wa Jal allows us to hold fast onto these foundations of knowledge, and secondly, he's asking Allah Azza wa Jal for the success, with the most with his all comprehensive virtue, the great comprehensive fadl and virtue and favor, subhanallah, that he will bestow upon the believers on the day of judgment. Okay, so al-fawza bi jawami'i fadlihi al-azim. Okay, subhanallah. So he's asking Allah Azza wa Jal for two things: first, the means, and second, the end. Subhanallah, look at this. What takes you to Jannah? Holding fast onto the foundations of knowledge takes you to Jannah. What is Jannah? This is success, right? Al-Fawz, success, subhanallah. And you want to succeed in Jannah, right? You cannot succeed unless and until Allah Azza wa Jal wishes for you to enter Jannah, right? This is, no one will enter Jannah by their own actions, right? You will only enter Jannah if Allah wills for you. So it's only Allah's favor that earns you Jannah, right? That takes you to Jannah. So Shaykh says, As'alullah al-fawza. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal for the success with all his comprehensive, encapsulating, enormous, al-azim, enormous, great favor. Okay? Al-fawza bi jawami'i fadlihi al-azim. Tamam? So this is the conclusion, inshallah, for the muqaddimah. Alhamdulillah. Tomorrow, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we will jump into the beginning of the book. Okay? Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Right, so let's take a quick break to change to Arabic, and inshallah, we'll do our Arabic session now. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala.